Hello and welcome to Inside Cardinal Basketball. I'm Jeff Button, and today we're going to be talking with the head coach of our women's program, Cheryl Cole. Coach Cole, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks, Jeff.
Let's start with last season, a historic season for the women's program. Congratulations on, again, winning the SUNYAC title.
Thanks.
Was there a point last season where you realized, what your team was capable of?
Well, I guess early, we had a really good team in our tip-off tournament here, and we beat them badly. And I kind of thought, well, we might be better than I thought we were or whatnot. And then as the season went on, we only went one game at a time, but there was probably the point that made it, there was 2 points, probably when we were at Genesee and we came from behind to beat them the second time in the season after beating them at home was probably huge. But to be honest with you, it came down to that last night and senior night here in this gym packed and really beating Buff State badly. To secure the home seed, the #1 seed and whatnot. And at that point I thought, I knew we'd already lost to Cortland twice. I knew we were going to face them the first game, so I thought at that point I was like, wow, this could really happen.
Now, was there anything at that point or after that point that you thought, maybe we should focus on specifically? Was it, we're just going to take one game at a time? Was there a mentality that you kind of shifted, or have you kind of did you always just do what you were always doing?
There was probably a real major turning point for us in the beginning of January where we had some confusion of roles and we really needed to, solidify some things for our team and how important every player was, even if they weren't even playing a significant minute, what they gave to the team and what the team needed from them. So, that's probably the toughest thing for players to get sometimes, because everybody wants to start, everybody wants to play 40 minutes and score 20 points, but obviously that's not reality, and we need other players to do other things. So we had a team meeting and we went through every person's role. We had already talked to them as coaches individually, but what I'd found is that wasn't always the same message they shared with their teammates. So we decided to do it as a team where every player said what their role was. And that was hard for some of them because it wasn't all what they wanted, but it was a turning point in them understanding what we really needed from them if we wanted to be special. And I give everybody on that team a ton of credit because they all bought in. And from that point forward, we kind of got rid of a little of the chirping and the dissatisfaction, understanding, well, this is something bigger than myself.
Now, for you, from a coaching standpoint, you've coached here for a number of years. How does it feel for you to get that first championship?
A lot of hard work. Didn't happen in a year, and I made my players real aware of that, how much the history and our alum were such a big part of where we got, but it was outstanding. To any time to win a championship is, it's everybody's dream, it's everybody's desire, and I couldn't have been more happy for the group of women who accomplished it. More for them than for me. Because it was just, it gives me goosebumps to think about how much came together. And, to win championships, you got to have some luck, too. We had great leadership. We went pretty much injury-free till the last game of the regular, the championship game when Britt rolled her ankle. But you can't control some of those things. And so I always think you got to be a little bit lucky, and we were. We didn't have any significant injuries. We got everybody to buy in. Our leadership was good, and we had some pretty talented kids.
Certainly, I was there for that game, and I remember, Britt was tough. She was super tough, to play through that ankle injury and help the team win. Let's move forward now into the off season and then into this season. You lost a few seniors, so you have the majority of your team coming back, but those seniors were obviously very important, very talented, players. How do you deal with losing a player like Kathleen Payne, who could pretty much do it all? This season, what are you going to kind of try to do to kind of fill that gap?
Yeah. KP was special. Definitely, you can argue, and I would argue she's the best player that ever played here. You don't replace her with one person, obviously. We didn't get the D1 kid that didn't go somewhere to come to Plattsburgh, so nobody's going to fill those shoes. And losing Brooke was our best backcourt defender, so we definitely have some big holes to fill. But the opportunity, our returners all came back in better shape, all came back definitely incredibly driven. We brought in some new players, so we're a new team. Last year is done and over, and it was awesome. It was outstanding, but it's only going to make it more difficult for us this year, and more pressure packed. And So what we're looking for is our upperclassmen to all step up their game a little more, get our new players in the swing, and hopefully we can fill the void. We won't have KP to save us sometimes, so we've got to be a better all-around team. We don't have somebody that's going to be lighted up for 20-25 on a night.
You just kind of touched on it a little bit, but who do you see as becoming the leaders of this team? Like we had mentioned, a lot of returning players, a lot of very talented players. What do you think they can bring to the table both on and off the court?
I think our leadership is incredible. I think our leadership this year is even better than it was last year, which will definitely be big. I mean, Britt is hands down, our heart and soul and, leader of our team. I mean, it's a natural as a point guard. She's a senior. This is it for her, and there's nobody that has more heart and guts than that kid, and she's just a competitor. So obviously, she was a leader of our team last year. She'll step it up even more this year. But Misha Green is another big one that's going to really step up into the leadership role for us. I mean, she's a kid last year that was just an unsung hero. She was a kid that did everything that helped us win games that might not have shown up on that stat sheet. In that championship game against Geneseo, she's 5'9" and grabbed 13 offensive boards against the biggest front court in our conference. And it's funny because basketball doesn't stat charges taken, but I'll guarantee you that kid was probably #1 in the country in number of charges taken. I mean, she probably over the course of the year took over 40 by herself. So she's always been a real quiet kind of kid, lead by example. So we're asking her to step up a little more with her voice. She's incredibly smart. She knows the game real well. So she's another leader, and they're both our seniors. Two of our seniors, and then we have some really good underclassmen like Devona Paul is a leader. She's our energy. We call her the Energizer Rabbit. She's a kid that just always is positive, always talking, always getting everybody going, and everybody has a down day from time to time, and she's just hugely important, and we really expect everybody on our team to lead, but I think we even have a stronger leadership group going into this year, which helps. I mean, as a coaching staff, when you have great leaders, it really makes your job a lot easier.
Now, when we were talking before, you had mentioned that your team is anxious. They're coming off obviously a great season. Can you talk to us a little bit about this anxiety that's hanging around, what your girls are most looking forward to?
I guess the biggest thing for them is our upperclassmen, our returners. They have this irreplaceable experience winning a championship, so they know what it took. They know what it felt like. They want to have that feeling again. But what we're trying to do, help them with as coaches, is help them understand. Oh, we got to relax a minute. We're a whole new team. We aren't going to be as good as we were in March, now in November, with new pieces in there. So it's them being able to be a little more patient with the new players, help them learn our stuff, help them understand why we do things a certain way. So it's definitely, but I don't want them backing down. I want them to have that fire. I want them to demand more out of each other every day. I know it's going to take a little bit of time, but we could be as good as we were last year. We won't be on day one because it's going to take a little while. You just don't bounce back from the season we had with the caliber of players that we lost immediately. But in the long run, we could, if things go our way and we continue to improve every day, we could find ourselves in a similar situation at the end.
Now, can you give us a scouting report on the handful of newcomers that you have?
Sure.
Here you have a pretty talented group of individuals.
They definitely have some talent. Our first one, we have a transfer from Monongalia Community College, and they're always the best team in the state. They're one of the best teams in the country. Went to the national tournament last year, and so Allie Taylor played there the last 2 years, and she is. During preseason, Britt kept going, Coach, she's the most athletic kid in the gym. And I'm thinking, wow, we got some pretty athletic returning kids. So I'm like, wow, and we knew that by watching her as we recruited her. She is, I mean, she can jump, she's long, she's fast, she's quick, but she's got to learn our stuff. She's a lot of play on reaction, play on instinct, not so much, the basketball IQ. So we're getting her up to speed on the basketball IQ is our biggest thing right now. But when she gets it, she's going to be fun to watch. She runs the floor well too, so she fits our style. We have a freshman from Amityville, Shawnee Thornton, who is real quick. She'll play some point for us. She'll play a little off guard for us, and she's picking things up pretty quickly. She's got to pick up a lot being a point guard. You got to pick up the offenses, how to run our team, spearhead our defense. So she's very athletic, quick hands. And she's going to be, they're a little tentative yet. They're still learning, but they're going to, I would predict by second semester, they're going to have a lot of people's attention. We brought in two other freshmen as well, a long 6 foot freshman from New Hampshire, Cassie Lalamere, who is a guard. So she's definitely, and she's probably got the sweetest shot on the team. She's got great rotation shot, just a really nice stroke. So she's a true freshman. If the wind blew in here, she might get blown over a little. So she got to get a little stronger, a little more aggressive. She's got a good head for the game, so she picks it up pretty quickly. So we'll find a way to get her the ball on the perimeter and kick out or reverse or skip something because she can shoot it. And then the last kid, unfortunately, has been hurt pretty much all of preseason. And Lauren Consul, she's from just outside of Albany and Catskill area, and she's a guard. She can play. It's been unfortunate that she's been out injured because it's going to take her a while to get in the shape we need her to get in, and being injured obviously has put her behind the 8 ball a little more, but I would imagine by second semester we'll be able to get her going as well.
Now, you've mentioned over the course of this interview a lot of players, basically your whole team. Is there somebody that we should keep an eye out for that, isn't a star or maybe is the star that you think is just going to have a great season?
Well, there's one person that who is I would say probably shocked the coaching staff in a great way. Actually listened to things we've been saying and really came back and as a remade player. It's Io Adedapo. She has got herself in shape. She is, we've run 2 drills the last 2 days, and she probably was about 10 for 12 from the 3 and just killing it. They couldn't get off. Wow. It was a defensive drill, and she was on offense, and they couldn't get off defense because they could not stop her from raining down 3s. So she's looked great in practice. Like I said, she's getting up and down the floor. She really got herself in shape, and if she can run with us, then she could help us. That's what we always told her. She never was in the shape we need her to be in. Now she's in the shape we need her to be in. So she adds an element. She can stretch a floor because she can shoot it, and she's a real strong kid who can attack the rim. So I think she might be the sleeper. She's going to be somebody that nobody else knows about in our conference. She's a senior too. Nobody else in our conference ever paid any attention to because she hasn't made them pay attention to her. But she is definitely been impressive in practice and going to give us something that we haven't had and something that we're pleasantly surprised to have.
That sounds great. We're going to shift now to some personal questions for you. That way our viewers can get to know you a little bit. So let's get started. Your favorite restaurant in the Plattsburgh/North Country area?
Well, since I coach the basketball team here and we're here a month with no school, all we do is feed our kids, so we go to every restaurant in town. But if I have to pick a favorite, I'll have to go down to 2. I'm a big Soddy's fan because I love the noodles there, and I'm a big Kodos fan because I like sushi. So you'll find if somebody's treating, I'm going to those places. Yeah,
for sure. The Hitachi grill there, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Hibachi or whatever.
You got to go to the sushi bar because they'll give you a free salad, the crab salad and stuff, and you get your sushi right in front of those sushi guys. So that's probably that's one of my favorites.
You win a trip, destination to your choice. Where are you going?
Well, where am I going? I'm going to Australia.
Australia?
You're paying?
Oh, I'm not paying. I said you win. I didn't say I was.
I'm going to Australia. I've always wanted to go there, but if I was going, I'm ready to go anywhere. But Australia would probably be pretty cool.
Now I hear you're a phenomenal athlete. If you have a sport outside of basketball that you'd like to play, what's your go-to sport?
Phenomenal athlete. Well, I have a little age on that phenomenal athlete thing. But yeah, so I don't do the soccer, basketball things like I used to. Obviously, when you get older, you get a little smarter. You don't like people kicking or hitting you anymore. So, so I golf a lot. Golf is probably my passion in the summertime. I do a lot of golf. In the wintertime now, I try to stay active by playing like racquetball and beating up on the guys in the department,
Yeah, I hear they're in for some stiff competition. They have a hard time getting in the win column. Your favorite TV show? You have a favorite program that you like to watch?
I'm not a huge TV person, but if I'm watching something on TV, it's usually watching SU basketball. I'm going to watch I'm a college basketball fan. I'll watch almost any game. If Syracuse is on, unless I'm playing, I'm watching the game. So I'm a big Syracuse fan. That's where I grew up.
Your biggest fear? Snakes or heights or spiders or?
Well, I don't really like any of those things. My biggest fear probably would be, I'm not a big snake fan, so don't, I'm good with heights. I can deal with that, but I'm not a big snake fan.
I'm not a big snake fan either.
Yeah, so.
Coach, well, we appreciate your time here today, and thanks for talking with us.
Jeff, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon.